Welcome to Average Guy Discusses the Bible. All right, guys. Welcome to the first full episode. Congratulations, we made it to the first one. Yay! And in this episode, I'm going to read Genesis chapter 1. And I'm going to do my best not to mess it up too bad. For those who are wondering, I'm going to be reading from the Message version of the Bible. I like the version. It's more story-like. It's easier to read. A lot less begatting and stuff. So, anyway, so Genesis chapter 1, and I'm going to read the entire chapter. So, here, hope my reading doesn't go to crap. All right, Genesis chapter 1, heaven and earth. First, this God created the heavens and earth. All you see, all you don't see. Earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, an inky blackness. God's spirit brooded like a bird above the watery abyss. God spoke, light, and light appeared. And God saw that the light was good, and separated light from the dark. God named the light day, he named the dark night. It was evening, it was morning, day 1. God spoke, sky in the middle of the water, separate the water from water. God made the sky, and he separated the water under the sky from the water above sky, and there it was. He named the sky the heavens. It was evening, it was morning, day 2. God spoke, separate water beneath heaven, gather into one place, land appear. And there it was. God named the land earth. He named the pool water ocean. God saw that it was good. God spoke, earth, green up, grow all variety of seed-bearing plants, every sort of fruit-bearing tree. And there it was. Earth produced green seed-bearing plants of all varieties and fruit-bearing trees of all sorts. God saw that it was good. It was evening, it was morning, day 3. God spoke, lights come out, shine in the heaven sky, separate day from night, mark seasons and days and years. Lights in heaven's sky to lights in heaven sky to give light to earth, and there it was. God made 2 big lights, the larger to take charge of the day, and the smaller to be in charge of the night, and he made the stars. God placed them in the heavenly sky to light up the earth and oversee day and night, to separate light and dark. God saw that it was good. It was evening, it was morning, day 4. God spoke, swarm ocean with fish and all sea life. Birds fly through the sky over earth. God created the huge whales, all the swarm of life in the waters, and every kind of species of flying birds. God saw that it was good. God blessed them, prosper and reproduce, fill the ocean. Birds reproduce on the earth. It was evening, it was morning, day 5. God spoke, earth generate light, every sort and kind, cattle and reptiles and wild animals of all kinds. And there it was, wild animals of every kind, cattle of all kinds, and every sort of reptile and bug, and God saw that it was good. God spoke, let us make humans in our image, make them reflecting our nature, so that they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, and the birds in the air, and the cattle, and yes, earth and every animal that moves on the face of the earth. God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. He created them male and female. God blessed them, prosper, reproduce, fill earth, and take charge. Be responsible for the fish in the sea and the birds in the air, and for every living thing that moves on the earth. Then God said, I've given you every sort of seed-bearing plant on earth. I've given and every kind of fruit-bearing tree. I've given to you for food. To all the animals and all the birds, everything that moves and breathes, I give whatever grows out of the ground for food. And there it was. God looked over everything he had made, and it was so good, so very good. It was evening, and it was morning, day 6. And that's Genesis chapter 1. Now, what do you take from that? Would be the question. What do I take from that? And the simple answer is God made everything, right? Like, that's it. Like, God did it, and God made us like him to be godlike, for us to rule over all the earth, and but not just to rule over the earth. You said there is also to take care of the earth and protect it, which is something we kind of fail at right now. We're not protecting the animals like we should. We're destroying them. And I don't like the time frame that's in this. And you'll get people get hung up on the time frame because it was one day, God day, day night. My thought and my theory on that is time is an earthly creation. A day to God is not the same thing as a day to us. We mark the time the way we do, but our time doesn't matter to God. our measurements of time. And when it comes to that, is where people tend to disagree with me. I kind of think the theory of evolution is right. And not that we came from apes. We'll get to that in a second. But if you look at the way the earth was created in God's view, in God's plan, it was made in the same order theory of evolution. There was nothing. There was a big bang. God appearing, creating everything, big bang, woohoo. And the order of everything coming together actually matches. Because first there was nothing, and then everything started to form, and then it came together. And then the land was covered with water, and then life began to happen in the water. And then the land appeared, and then birds came. And then that's literally the exact order that it happened in the theory of evolution. Like, it matches up perfectly, except for we get to where humans came in. And then the time frame, because the evolution said this took millions and millions of years, and the Bible says 6 days. But if you take away how long a God day is versus what we think a day is, and it's expanded, like, it matches up. And like, oh, well, evolution says we came from apes. Well, yes, but evolution also has this problem called the missing link, where we got to the Neanderthals, and we have proof that they existed. They have bones and DNA and all that kind of good stuff. But there isn't that next step to human. Humans just kind of appeared one day, Homo sapiens. And that's where I think the Bible and evolution actually lines up. I think that one actually proves the other. So that's a takeaway I have, that they actually match up if you look at it and you let go of the time frame and you let go of the ape thing, because there is that missing link that doesn't line up, and they've said that they can't find the link where Neanderthal becomes human. So there's that. That's something to think about, because animals mutate all the time in advance as evolution. That we can see evolution. We can actually create a scenario. Evolution happens with ants because they go through so many generations. You can actually watch evolution happen. So we know evolution is real. Humans have evolved in a way through technology. We've gotten taller, shorter, fatter. Like, things have happened. So there is that. So evolution is definitely real, and humans are still evolving. So I think it's all part of God's plan. Like, I don't think it's random. I think it's all part of God's plan, though. So if evolution is right and it lines up with the Bible, why can't they both be right? I think they can. I think they can actually work together. But in the first 6 days when God created everything, the first, I won't call them God days because I really don't believe it was 24 hours, because 24 hours didn't even exist the first couple days. It just shows the planning God put into this. He created every single thing. His thought process, God, you think for God, but like, he planned every single thing, and everything works together. Like, it's not an accident the way the world works, especially with the animals and the plants, the way one supports another. That just doesn't randomly happen. This stuff interconnects too well. All of it had to be part of God's plan. So when you're thinking about that, if everything is part of God's plan, what are you planning yourself for, right? If it's against God's plan. Well, I disagree with that, actually. Because if it's God's plan and you're doing it, then you're good. So there. Threw you for a loop on that one, didn't I? Look, always pray, ask for guidance, everything else. But if everything is God's plan, then what you're doing is God's plan. So keep that in mind. Now, there is going to be influences and bad things trying to pull you in the opposite direction. As long as you're praying and asking for guidance and going with that, you're following God's plan. And that is an amazing, powerful thing. And that is good. So, but I take away from the first 6 days is God had a plan. He made everything work together. And we screwed it up. We screwed up some stuff. We're not perfect. But God still had a plan. And it was a good plan. And we can take advantage of that. And we need to pray for our guidance every day. And let God in. And we're going to be okay. And we're going to need to start taking better care of the earth, because part of God's plan was we had dominion and everything else over that, but without some men, we need to take care of it. And we haven't done that. We have done things to destroy the earth rather than protect it. So we need to work on that. And not just Christians, but everybody. So that's something to think about. So that's what I took away from Genesis chapter 1, that all this stuff works together so well, that God did have a plan. People who say, God's just leaving us to our free will. Yeah, because we do have free will. Is wrong. God's still watching. God still has a plan. And we'll get later on in the Bible, we'll talk about God sending Jesus. Again, all part of God's plan. So we'll just keep that in mind. So that's what I took away from Genesis chapter 1. Curious what you took away. You can hit me up on @cman2342 on Twitter, and we could talk about it. You can send me an email at asktheangryninja@gmail.com, and we can talk about it. You send me a comment, and I'll read it on here, and we'll talk about it. So I hope everybody had a wonderful day, and just remember to say your prayers and ask for that guidance, because that guidance is honestly, if you open up your heart, you'll have it, you'll hear it, you'll know it. But you truly have to open your heart and hear it. All right, guys, I hope everybody has a wonderful day.